With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated, where today is just a big day for me. I'm joined by actress Jennifer Elise Cox. So welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. And I have opinions. I
hope so. I hope so. Because, you know, we have to live up to the name.
Right.
Oh,
right.
So, all right.
It's a great name. It's a great.
I've got so many things I want to ask you about. I'm such a big fan of yours. And so this is going to be I'm betting you don't get asked this as much, right? So okay. I've become pretty good friends with John Lear, and you used to work some with him, right?
Yes, I love him.
10 items or less.
He's so funny.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. He's so funny. But I was flipping through Hulu, and this show called Quick Draw comes up, and I thought it was a new show. This is just this past year. So I'm watching it, and it had a couple seasons. I watched it, and I was looking for the third season. Didn't have a third season. Then I figured out, well, it was 10 years ago. So I was like, wow, shoot. And then, I looked up John Lear and found out that he had another show before Quick Draw, 10 items or less. So I started watching that one, and there you are. You were the mean girl on there.
Amy Anderson.
Yeah, Amy
I was
Anderson.
Really mean.
He really liked you on that show.
I had like a bad perm, and you know.
No, you look great. You're so funny on that show. It was underrated show.
I agree, and I just think if it was ahead of its time. If it had came out a little bit later, it would have been super duper popular.
I'm getting ready to do like a cast reunion with Quick Draws, him and Allison Dunbar and some of them coming on, but they all said to tell you hello. They said to tell you hello.
I send my love, and they're all so talented and funny and fantastic. And John is like the sharpest comedian in the world. His brain just like.
I know. A lot of that is improv. Do you improv?
I improv too as well. I did Groundlings, which was just great. And I actually prefer to improv because I don't like to memorize lines. So
see, I'd be the opposite. I'd have to. See, I told Allison Dunbar that, and she made me improv with her on the spot, right? And oh my gosh, she was so great, but I was terrible.
I'm sure you were great.
Oh no, I was terrible. I'd have to have the lines in front of me that I could memorize. I was terrible. But she was great. We did this little scene. And she said, where you want to do it? And I said, a library, because that's where Brett, my son, works in a library. And I said, let's do it there. And so we're having a conversation like two employees in a library, and it's fine. And I'm if you're improving, you really aren't supposed to think ahead. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm thinking ahead, trying to figure out what I'm going to say.
Oh yeah.
So
were you writing it?
I wasn't writing it, but I wasn't paying any attention to what she was saying. And then she knew I wasn't paying attention. Oh. So she's having the conversation, and then under her breath, she says, I love you. And it just killed me. I was just done. I was just like, I don't.
Me. That's really funny.
Oh, it was so funny.
It would kill me.
So I appreciate all of you that can do the improv, because that's not easy.
Oh, it's great because you do learn to listen. I was never a good listener. So it is important to listen and just kind of like add on to what someone gave you. It's like a tennis match. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I know. It looks like fun, but it also looks very stressful. It's very stressful. Not for me. Not for me. I would have to. I'd be the guy. I'd be memorizing my lines and yelling line a lot. That's not for me. Acting's hard.
Well, that's good. We need writers. We need to support our writers.
I tell you,
it's important.
I have big faith in Brett. I think he is the absolute best writer. He has so many good things. So I of course that's a that's a
great writer. Yeah,
I think he's the best. I think he's the best. I love Jennifer Nash's writing. I think she's really good. So.
Jennifer Nash is a brilliant writer, and she just kind of gets it. She kind of. I started this project the last Saturday night. This podcast. Yeah. It's not out yet, but she wrote it, and it's all about the last Saturday night before this pandemic hit for everybody, and what you did, and it's so funny. It's so funny and sad and wonderful, and
it's such a great. I hope hopefully everybody will listen when they listen to finish the interview first, but then go look for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, and the cast is just terrific. It's just such a great cast.
My God, Sherilyn Fenn, Ed Asner.
I know.
Charlene Tilton did it.
Love Charlene Tilton
from Dallas. Do you remember her?
She was her. Was it Judy? What was her name on Dallas? She was the young Lucy. Lucy. Yeah, Lucy Ewing.
She was hot. I mean, she was a pretty woman. Hot.
Yeah, she is. She's a really attractive woman. Yeah, it's such a great cast. And Eric Roberts joined, and that's been
he did? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Eric Roberts is
Eric Roberts.
Oh, I do
love
too.
Him.
Yeah, he was big when I was growing up. He was in every movie. I mean,
such a good actor. He's in every movie.
Yeah.
And then his sister ended up in every movie.
Yeah. Well, and Jennifer had sent me a note. She said, "Hey, do you know Jennifer?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm such a big fan. I was so happy that you joined." I was like, "Oh, I love her. She's the best."
Yay.
I told her, I was like, she was in my opinion, the best part about web therapy. You killed me on that show.
Thank you. Web therapy just got up on IMDb. We're streaming on IMDb. It's a real thing. Yeah. I'm so
good.
Excited that more people get to see it.
It's you're basically Zooming. That's the show.
What's so weird is that it's so interesting that you bring that up, because I was just like, it's weird right now, feels like the shooting of web therapy, which we did 6 years ago. It's strange. It was ahead of its time in a way, like doing therapy on the web. How weird.
I know now it's not that big a deal, but it was ahead of its time. And Lisa Kudrow was just awesome in it. She was so good. But I loved her character.
She's so nice.
Yeah, she seems nice.
Isn't it? She's so nice. She's like a regular person. She's just
nice. Yeah, I could see that. She just seems so nice. And I wanted to ask you though, because I know I used to watch the other show she did, The Comeback, and you appeared on. You were like Miss Hollywood on that.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So did she know? Did she remember? Yes. Did she remember you from that one and say, I gotta call Jennifer. I gotta have her on this web therapy show.
She did, and thank God. And also Dan Bukatinsky, who's in web therapy. Yes. We had done a Will and Grace episode together.
Oh my gosh.
Years ago, and he thought of me too for it. Oh, lucky.
What did you play? You were like a doctor.
I love The Comeback.
Right? On Will and Grace, were you a doctor? Weren't you a doctor on Will and Grace?
I was a nurse trainee.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you have braces?
It's funny because had braces and a lisp, and what's funny is my stepsister is a nurse, and she's dealing with the whole pandemic right now. No. And she said that they all say my line, like they're like, driving is hard. Like they love to be the stupid nurse. But they're all smarties. They're all so amazing.
Yeah, I've seen the blooper reels on that with Deborah Messing. That was really funny. Yeah, she had a hard time keeping a straight face.
She did. Yeah. And she also hates taking her blood. So talking about blood, and I think she's really gonna pass out, too. It was funny. What a great cast. Oh my God. Great show.
I know, and they get to come back. I love the fact that all these great shows are coming back.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've been kind of obsessed with that. I mean, and even like movies like The Karate Kid, the Cobra Kai that's out. Like I've been obsessed with that. I love that show.
It's so great. It's Johnny's finally getting his due.
He is getting his due because he's such a good actor. And he was this great character actor. He was like all the kind of bad boys like in high school. And then now he gets to act.
Yeah, he gets to act and he's good. Yeah. He's on my list. He's on my list of people I'd like to
You have to have him.
I'd love to have him.
I'll call in.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, that'd be so great. I'm kind of it's funny, you know, we're getting to the point I can at least some people will say, oh, okay, I've heard of you, I'll do that. And I was like, oh great, I'm great. But we're still running into some, I'll send notes and just it's either crickets or it's just a flat no. They'll just be like, no, we're not doing it. I was like, well, thanks for responding.
You just wait. They'll be so sorry they did that. You know, you wait.
That's like, okay. I was like, thanks. Maybe we can check back.
I've done some stupid things. Like I remember someone was like, they want you to come in an audition for this new show called Ugly Betty. And I was like, I'm not ugly. I'm not doing that. Like that too. It was a huge show. Like I was like, oh, you know, maybe I was a little stupid about that.
I could have been ugly.
I could have been ugly.
That was such a great show. See, I love hearing that because I always love asking that question because it's like most actors have something where they either turned it down or they just missed it, you know, but it turned out to just be this big hit. And that's kind of the, I guess you got to have.
It's so true. And you're always like, that's not going anywhere. I remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I tested for the part of Willow and I didn't get it. And I was really bummed. I would have loved to have played Willow. She was amazing. I remember my agent was like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. It's like, oh, it went somewhere.
It went somewhere. I mean, it always happens that way. You know, I don't know. You got to be careful what you turn down, I guess, because you never know.
You do. Yeah. You have to be careful. And because sometimes you also might piss somebody off and then they don't want to work with you later. Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm trying to be more open.
What do you do with that though? Because what if you got somebody that you'd really like to work with and you know down the road you might want to work with them, but they give you something and it's just terrible. You know, and be like,
Oh, that's a that's a good question. And I actually have been there. You know, you have to just do it and try and make the best of it, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
That's what I think. You'd have to do it.
Do it and put where you've got into it, you know. Try.
Yeah. You have to. So I got to
because it's all relationships.
Well, it is. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's the same thing in podcasting.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to turn anybody down. I don't want to burn any bridges because you never know. Especially, you know, I deal a lot with agents and managers, and you don't know who they're repping or you know who they know. And I'm nice to everybody.
And they're tricky. Ooh, I produced a movie once. And I had never dealt with agents and managers. I just had agents and managers. And oh my God, they can be mean. They're fighting for their client.
Well, yeah.
At the end of the day, they're coming from a really good place. But sometimes it's like, whoa, it's a little too much.
Hard. It's more political than you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real. So
podcasts are so big now.
Oh, everybody's doing one. It's terrible. Nah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, they don't have the viewership that you have.
I know.
I
can't figure it out.
I've done a whole bunch that are going out to like 10 people.
Hey, we've been there. It's like you know, your mom and you know the kids.
Yeah, my mom is listening to me. God bless her.
That's always kind of fun. You know?
It is.
He does. My parents still think that they're like, okay, I don't really understand what you're doing. You know, I don't know. I've tried. Like I'll put it. I'll even set it up. All they have to do is push a button. It'll play. And they're just like, it's not for me. That's what it is. It's just not for me. They're like, why? You know, I talk to you all the time. Why do I need to listen to you? I talk to you all the time. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Mom.
I wonder. I know you're a Trek fan, so I want to talk to you a little about that because
Yes,
you'd think it'd be easy to find us out there, but it's not as easy. At least in a pandemic, like before you could go to conventions and stuff, but now,
right.
or like I used to own back in the 90s. I owned a couple of comic book stores, and it was just a bunch of nerds hanging out and talking about the stuff that that we loved. But now,
Sure, but it's the best kind of nerds. I think that Star
yeah.
Trek are
they're the best
nerds, and
they're the best.
I have to tell you a funny story.
Yeah, please do.
Well, I went to college actually with Daniel Stewart, Patrick Stewart's son.
You did not.
And this was, yeah. Can you believe that? How lucky am I?
Oh my gosh. I'd be like,
so I left Daniel.
What we doing tonight?
Totally. Well, we were friends anyway. I just liked him anyway. His father used to come to all of our plays, and he would invite us over to the house for dinner. Like,
no way.
I'm dying. And people that would be at his house, like it was like the entire like cast the first season, and I met Kyle MacLachlan, and I met oh my god, oh gosh,
right from Dune,
blanking on me because I have a Corona brain. All these people, and Daniel was just like the sweetest guy in the world, and we would go out. I remember, and like we go to like be like, oh, I'm gonna borrow a car from my dad, and we go to this giant garage where it was all Jaguars because he was doing those commercials.
Yep.
Jaguars.
Yep. Jaguars.
With anti brakes and get it. And I was just like, this is crazy because I'm such a Star Trek fan. And Patrick Stewart was so sweet. He was always giving us advice about acting and just a really kind, wonderful person. I mean, he's just amazing.
Oh my gosh. I can't. That's amazing. That's the best story ever. I love that story.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Like, how did I get so lucky?
How did you not like accidentally be, running, scenes and stuff at the house, hoping that he would see you and put you on the show?
Well, yes. I mean, there was definitely that. And I'm so glad that actually Daniel was on the show, and Jennifer was the love interest, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that her love interest? Jennifer Nash's. So like we're all incestuous. We're all connected.
Isn't that weird? It's so weird. I know. Maribor. when I had my comic stores, we got in our head. This is like early 90s, so no internet. We got in our head we needed to have somebody from Star Trek come to the house or to the store. And I still don't know how we found it, but somehow using, the Yellow Pages, we found William Shatner's agent, right? So I don't know how. So we're calling him just on the phone, William Shatner. And we're like, we want to hire Mr. Shatner to come to, our store and sign autographs, hang out, do whatever. And the guy is so nice. He was like, because William Shatner, he lived in Kentucky, so it's not too far away. We thought that'd be perfect. He's like, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. It'll cost this amount of money. We're like, that's a little much for us. He was out there. And the guy said, well, I rep other Star Trek people. He said, what about whoever he named, and James Doohan. And we're like, oh yeah, we love James Doohan. How much would he be?
Yes.
And so he named a price. We're like, nope. That's still too much. And he just went down the list. He just kept going down the list. And we just kept getting low. And he hung in there. He kept getting lower and lower and lower. And he finally got down to this amount. And he said, well, I've got this new actress that's going to be on a spinoff from Star Trek. Her name's Terry Farrell. And it's like, I don't know what it was, $1,000, something like that, whatever it was. And I was like, yes, that's it. That's it. So Terry Farrell flew out, hung out with us all day at the comic store, and we had lunch, and it was great. It was great. It was big time. So then,
that's so great.
oh, it was so great. It was such a big day for me. Well, then last year we went to a convention and she was there. She was there. I hadn't seen her since, it's been 30 years. So I was like, oh, I got to go talk to her. So I got up there, talked to her. I was like, Miss Farrell, you probably don't remember me. You came to our store, did all that stuff. Well, yeah, she did not. No clue. No clue. She had no idea who I was. It was so disappointing. Because she's awesome.
Do you know what? If she admitted it,
Oh yeah, she was fine. Yeah, and she was great. She was still great. She's like, no, I don't remember that at all. And I was like, well, it was 30 years ago, but she was still just amazing.
So actors are in sets with so many people.
Yeah.
I'm always like on a set with, you meet so many people and your brain only has.
Well, you can only hold
you just
so much.
remember like 2
Yeah,
years. Yeah,
I wasn't offended. I got it, because for me, such a big day. But I mean, for her, it's just a day.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, it's her.
Yeah.
She does that all the time. So I totally got it. And then of course
That's so cool that you had comic book stores. That's so cool.
Back then,
so cool.
Having Terry Farrell in, she was probably the only woman that came in the comic book store. That's probably.
Wow.
That's probably true. Because back then it was just guys. There just wasn't that many girls that.
Yeah.
Did you collect?
Did, and I'm such an idiot. I moved from New York, and all my comic books were like in a storage space that got wrecked, and I had a lot of I could be a wealthy woman. I collected. I loved comic books.
I feel your pain. What did you like?
I'm so
what was your favorite?
Well, I had Archie's, I had Richie Rich. Remember the Richie Rich?
That was my first comic book that I ever owned, was Richie Rich.
Richie Rich. I had, those were my favorite. And I had, Star Trek and Avengers, everything. I mean, I loved comic books.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so pumped.
You know what? I tell I gotta say this before I forget. Your birthday is the same as Brett's, November 29th.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, Sagittarius, we're cool.
Yeah,
we're nice people.
That's what he says.
We get along with everybody. I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you about it. We're a little bit famous. When's your birthday?
It's so you and I were born same year. Mine's October 24th, so we're almost identical. How about that?
Oh my God, yeah, we're almost twins.
Yeah, yes, but you don't look it. Some of us look.
But I like that we have a lot of the same references, because I'm around a lot of people today, and I'm like, they don't really my references.
Oh, I know. All my references are like from the 80s and 90s, and the kids are just like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "It was hilarious 30 years ago."
I told this kid, I was actually playing poker with him months ago, and he was like, "What should I be for Halloween?" I was like, "Well, you kind of look like Ad Rock from Beastie Boys. You should be Ad Rock." And he's like, "Who's Ad Rock?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go shoot myself."
I know.
Now.
I know. I used to run a call center for Ticketmaster, and I had a little teenage girl. This was back right before the internet came out, so you had to call to order your tickets. So they were just taking orders on the computer. And she comes over and she says, "I've got a caller. They're asking for something called Led Zeppelin. Have you ever heard of anything called Led Zeppelin?"
No. No, shoot me now. Shoot me now.
So old.
Led Zeppelin.
So how did
even
you...
like commercials, like...
Yes. No, go ahead. Talk commercials. I can do that.
No, I was just going to say, even the old commercials like that I would know, you would know, like, "I'm a woman, Angelique. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan." I was singing that the other day. Someone's like, "What are you talking about?"
I was thinking of the one where the guy had the battery on his shoulder, knocked the battery off my shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're making me happy.
Yeah, that was such a fun time. Were you a Saturday morning cartoon kid?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it. I still am. I'll still watch it now, Saturday morning stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's a little different.
With a little... It's a little different. It has to be educational now. Why?
I know. I don't know. Because it was always like Saturday morning. That was the only time cartoons were on. You only had like 3 channels. So that was, you know, and like the week before they'd have like the primetime special showing you what cartoons were coming out. You'd watch that.
Right.
You get your big bowl of cereal, sit down in front of the TV from like 7 to noon every Saturday. It was the best.
Lucky Charms.
Ooh, yeah, I could eat some Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms. See, I've got celiac disease, so I can't have any gluten. Lucky Charms is gluten free, so I can still eat those. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I know that doesn't sound like much, but you know, if you can't eat, you know, gluten, it's a big deal.
My husband has diabetes, so he can't have any sugar. I just go and hide it. I go and have my little sugar sessions.
There's nothing worse than a food allergy. It's the worst.
It's the worst.
So are you?
The worst because they don't even really quite understand it.
No, that's right. They don't know why. We've done it to ourselves.
They don't get
is
it.
What I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you like supportive? Like, do you not eat sugar because he can't eat sugar?
I tried it for about a week, and then I was like, "Oh, I love sugar," and he doesn't mind. He's actually grossed out by sugar now.
Okay, good. Yeah, see, I'm kind of like that with wheat. I used to be like, I thought I was going to die because I couldn't have Oreos and pizza, but eventually, I mean, that was 20 years ago. Eventually, you get used to it, and now
you do, and you don't crave it anymore. Your body doesn't crave anymore, which is good, and you're eating healthy. That's good.
That's right. You're eating, supposedly. If I am for sure that God gave me celiac because I wouldn't stop eating. I weighed like 400 pounds. He was like, I tried, you didn't listen, so here you go. We'll just have to make you stop.
Well, it's funny. My husband, he lost like 150 pounds with diabetes.
No, he didn't.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
he did. Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that you guys did. You know, and you know, good for you.
Yeah.
I need a little something to lose some weight right now. I don't want to.
You don't. No, you don't. Although I admit, everybody put on the celiac 10. Everybody.
We did. We did.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't help it because you don't really have time to work out too. You know.
Oh, it was the worst. Like our gyms have been open for the last few months, but that few months where it wasn't open, you couldn't find a dumbbell anywhere. I mean, there was nothing.
No.
Just push-ups and
jumping jacks. I was doing
jumping jacks. It was terrible.
Jacks. It's not a good workout.
No, it's awful. And you couldn't so I was like, well, I started running for a little while. Well, then they shut down all the the tracks and everything else. You couldn't run anymore either.
No, it's too hard. And running is hard on your knees.
It is. Knees, feet, joints, everything. Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
So how did you get into entertainment? What made you want to? Was it just hanging around with the Stewarts?
Well, this is a great question. I was a strange little kid. My parents were both kind of hippie artists, actors. So they actually hung out with Susan Sarandon was their friend, and Chris Sarandon when they were married, and like all of these actors. So I used to hang out with them, and I was just like, well, these are the coolest people ever.
Yeah, is Chris Sarandon related to Susan Sarandon?
They were married.
Oh, they were married.
That was her first husband.
You know, he's from West Virginia.
That was her first husband. Yeah, and then they split up, but my parents that was their best friends, Chris, Susan, and like I just used to see them. I was like, I want to be like them. They're so cool.
Well, yeah, they're so cool.
I caught the bus.
Yeah,
they're so cool.
That's a great story. Were you a Princess Bride fan?
Oh yes, Princess Bride. Oh my God, such a huge fan. Oh my God, I watched that recently. That never gets old. It
holds up.
And Robin Wright, so good in that. It just holds up. So good. Yeah.
I love it. So good. That's a really great story. So your parents were involved and friends with some big time people. That's pretty awesome.
They went to Catholic University in DC. The theater school there was incredible, and all these people went to theater school there, and then they just all kind of like struggled together in Manhattan and were friends. And I was just like, oh, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, that's
It looks
pretty
like
cool.
fun.
Yeah, it looks like fun. What was your first job?
What's me?
What was your first
It's not
job?
a real job. Yeah.
Now, it is a real job. It's hard.
Well, it's a fun job.
It is a fun job. Hopefully it's fun. What was your first job?
Oh, what was my first job? I was allowed to, when I was a little girl, my mom didn't really want to get me into showbiz because like it's hard. At that time, they didn't have the laws for child actors like they do now. Like they didn't really protect it then. But I used to do like some commercials, and I remember I did like a commercial for Annie, where I was just like a girl going to see Annie.
Yeah.
And it was really spazzy. But then I shared that story with Sarah Jessica Parker when I was on Sex and the City. I said, you know, I went to an Annie party and you were there because she played an Annie. And you were so sweet to me. You like held my hand, took me around, and she introduced me to everybody. She was just like the sweetest girl.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, she was like, I don't remember that. Of course.
See?
But me, I remembered it. I will remember it for always.
See? I'll say a show that I know you'll remember, but nobody remembers anymore. Square Pegs.
Oh, square pegs, square pegs, square pegs, square pegs.
So that was Sarah Jessica
Parker. I loved
Parker,
her in Square Pegs.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker, yeah, that was one of her first gigs. Although she was a kid actor. She was in quite a bit.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's such a pro. She's so good.
That's pretty cool. See, you're out there just living the life.
Living the life, living the dream out here.
Did I read that you did some work in some operas? Is that right?
Yes, but here's where I feel bad because I haven't really ever corrected it. But I wasn't singing in the opera. I was dancing and acting and Giovanni.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because singing. I saw an interview where you said voice. You said you didn't really have a good voice, and I wasn't judging. I just thought, well.
But you know what's funny? As an actor, in the beginning, when I first started out, like you have to put credits up there to make it look like you've done stuff. And like in the beginning, I really hadn't done that much. And that was one of those credits I put there. And I've never erased it. And I probably should. It's misleading.
No, I think I would totally leave it. Would totally leave that. I told Jennifer Nash that if I had been in an episode of Star Trek, one episode, and that's all I ever did, I would live on that for the rest of my life. I would hit every convention.
Oh, yeah.
I would show up in costume. I'd be doing birthday parties. I'd wear people out with it.
See, I love that. And I love that you would embrace that. Why not? And it's
why not?
You know, why not?
It's
so fun. It's great.
It is fun. I talked to Sam Jones that played Flash Gordon, and that's basically what he's done. You know, he's made a whole career out of just playing Flash Gordon. I think that's awesome.
Well, and you're so lucky as an actor to get any role, especially like something as big as Flash Gordon. So, like, why not? You know,
why not?
Just go for it. I would do it too. Sure.
Well, you've had your kind of iconic role. You know, you got to be on the Brady Bunch and Jan, of course. You know, that, I mean, you had to experience some of that everybody was thinking.
Lee. Oh, sorry. I'm coming back. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. I love that. Your screensaver is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Is that Lee?
I think that's Lee.
I love it. I'll tell you what. I got to hire.
I don't know what happened.
I got to hire Lee.
You got to hire Lee.
He's
Unreal Engine, baby.
Yeah, you're a transplant of West Virginia. You've got ties.
Yes.
Oh, in a way, my mom was there, but I'm I went down the Unreal Engine road, man. I'm doing virtual stuff and games and effects and shit. Ooh. I'm an editor mainly.
Oh, see? There you go. Wait, if none of that,
I'm doing stuff for Google now remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put me on a show, baby. I miss it.
Yeah. Oh, all right. All right. Writing it down.
It's gonna happen.
We're gonna make it happen.
It's
So
gonna
you,
happen.
so you had your kind of iconic role, you know, with the Brady Bunch, and that had to be something where you were kind of, I don't want to say typecast, but maybe a little typecast for a little while at least, right? Everybody recognized you.
Yes.
You know, what was that like? Were
Definitely.
you one that hated it or loved it?
Well, this is a really good question, and it's an interesting question because when I was cast, I was such a huge Brady Bunch fan. Growing up, you know, I watched it in syndication like crazy, and I loved Jan. So I really wanted to get this role. What was funny was I just loved it, and I felt like a friend of mine was like, well, you know, this is one of the best parts you could ever get. Even if you only did Jan Brady for the rest of your life, wouldn't you be happy? And I was like, yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, this is like, role. It's an iconic role. It's like, I was so lucky to get to play this. But then for a while after the movie, what was strange was like people would even yell at me like from their cars if I was just walking down the street, Marsha, 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 like everywhere I went. And that was a little strange. It was strange because it was like, oh, they think I'm Jan Brady. It's so funny. It's what you want and kind of what you don't want. Oh no, low battery.
We gotta hurry up.
We gotta hurry up.
I can fix that.
Oh my gosh.
See, I tell you what, you've got a tech guy right in the room. Just instantly fixed it. Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh my gosh, we did it. Oh, no.
I just don't want it falling.
No.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
If it hits you, then you can yell, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. It's the best. See, this fits our show perfect. You've got whole Too Opinionated vibe right there. Right there. We just added 1 million viewers right there.
Okay, good. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's hilarious. Don't be sorry. That's great.
But Jan Brady, I was so lucky to get that part, but then I was a little bit typecast for a couple years after doing it. But it was like, I was typecast as Jan Brady. Like there's no other part but Jan Brady. So
I mean, that's
luckily it changed. It changed a little.
Yeah. Well, right. You got I did get a kick out of the fact that for a few years there, you showed up on other shows as Jan Brady, which I just thought was hilarious.
Oh, sure. I'm shameless. I was on Moesha.
Yes, and
Wings, all these shows playing Jan Brady, and I was like, whatever. I don't care. I'll milk it. I love this part. It's so fun.
Well, and you looked just like, you looked like Jan Brady from the original shows. It was crazy.
Well, that's a compliment. I just think she's so beautiful, Eve Plum.
Well, she is. Yeah, she's very attractive. And you know, it was one of those shows that was on when I first got cable, 1978. TBS showed the Brady Bunch all day long, like every day, because I guess there wasn't a ton of
that.
Yeah, it was just all the time. So you kind of fell in love with the whole family. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're just so sweet. They all love each other. They all have to take time for each other's problems, which are so like minute. I remember Sherwood Schwartz one time said to me, like, I hope you don't have the problems that Jan Brady has, you know, like being tortured. I was like, I got bigger problems, dude. Like way bigger. I wish those were my problems.
Are you still close with the cast?
I'm still close with the cast. I keep in touch with almost all of them. That's awesome. What's really weird is that Shelley Long lives next door to my real mom.
Really?
Here in California. How weird is that?
Love Shelley Long.
I love Shelley Long. She's so talented.
Yeah,
she's great.
Amazing. She's amazing. She's
always great.
Yeah, she's terrific. She was good on Modern Family.
Oh, I loved.
Yeah, Cheers is the best.
Oh, she's great on Modern Family.
Yeah.
She's great. She's great in everything she does, and she looks good. She looks really good.
Yeah, it's so. Well, her and Ted Danson both. They both look really good. I mean, Cheers was 40 years ago.
Yes,
It's crazy.
I know, and they look the same. Yeah, it's crazy. What a good show. Oh, what a good show.
You guys,
Love it.
you should have seen you. Well, you still could, but some of these other shows, you know, they've gotten together, like Parks and Rec got together and did the extra episode. You know, the little reunion episode. You could totally do that with the Brady Bunch. You could do a Zoom episode, like make it present day.
They were talking about it.
You could totally do it.
I agree. I mean, they were talking about it with Netflix at one point. I think it was like, I still think they might be in talks about it. I don't know. We'll see. That would be great.
A grown-up band, that'd be great.
Yeah, I just think she's a mess now. You know, I mean, it's great.
It'd be funnier if she was. If she had it all together, it wouldn't be as funny. It wouldn't be as funny.
No, we don't want them to get it together.
Would she still be? Would she still have the whole Marsha thing? Would she still be jealous? You think?
Well, I think so, because you know, sisters, it goes on forever. That never dies.
Yeah.
People take that to the grave.
I know, it's so weird. It's so weird. It does seem to be that way with sisters. You don't see it as much with brothers.
No, it's not so much with brothers, but with sisters. Oh my God. Yeah.
So strange. That's so strange.
It is weird. But
now, I just want to I want to point out, and just you know, I don't know why, but I'm going to point it out. So just to show how good an interviewer I am, or at least how good I've become, I never ever all I wanted was to hear you say Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. I never asked, never brought it up, but we got there.
You got it.
I got it.
I gave it to you because I liked you. I liked you.
I know. See? I'm so proud of myself.
You didn't have to ask.
Oh, I wanted to. I was like, I'm gonna have to ask. No, I didn't have to ask.
It was funny in the beginning of when I first did that movie. People would just come up to me and say it.
They demand it.
Not even. Sometimes I just act like, say what? Say what?
Oh, what? What are you talking about? That's not me. Oh, see, it was probably all going good, and then I just ruined it because I had to point it out.
No, I think that was funny.
I had to celebrate.
I like that you pointed that out. I thought that was really funny. It
was
slick. It was slick.
If you had, what's Jan's second best line? You know, you never get to say another. What's the second best?
I don't know if this is the second best, but this is my favorite, and I say it all the time. There's just got to be a way to make $20,000. I say that every day of my life because there's got to be like an easy way to make $20,000.
It has to be. You know,
there's just got to be.
I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but you sound just like her.
I know, isn't that
amazing?
Crazy? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So funny. So funny.
That's pretty great. You have been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love this. And thank you so much for promoting
last Saturday night. Well, you know, I'm excited. You can see it on Too Opinionated or listen to it on Too Opinionated.
Great.
It's not. Oh, you know what I didn't tell you, and you've probably already heard this story. And our listeners are probably sick of this story, although they don't know they're sick of it yet because none of those episodes have aired. But I keep bringing this up because it was a big moment for me. I got. You know, one of the scenes in last Saturday night is based on a story that I told Jennifer. Right, so I didn't know that. Yeah, so my day job is I work in a hospital, so I've had to work on some of the COVID units, and so I told her a story. I told her a story, and so she got Ed Asner to play the role of the gentleman in my story, which was
that's huge.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
That's huge.
So amazing, so I had to act though opposite Ed Asner, and I can't act. Oh, it's terrible. So I got to do it, and I was a nervous wreck. And he was
I would be.
he was so good.
Legend.
And so all I have to do is be myself. The role is me. I mean, it's it's me. That's all I have to do. You'd think I could do that. So difficult. It was, I don't know. We got through it.
It's hardest to play yourself. It's easier to play a character.
Yeah, it was really hard. And there's a part that I have to get emotional. I'm upset about what's going on. And I really had a hard time getting there. I couldn't get there. And my wife helped me, and I got it. I got there. I got emotional. But then for like half a day after that, I couldn't get out of it. I was just sad for like half a day. She kept saying, "What's wrong with you?"
You were method acting. Don't go method.
I know. I couldn't get out of it.
You're method acting.
Well, nobody told me not to do that.
I've been there. It's terrible when you're just in a funk. Yeah. But I love that you did it, that you committed to it, and I can't wait to see that scene.
Well,
see it, hear it.
Well, so I didn't tell you the end of it, right? Oh. So Jennifer calls me and she says, "We got a little problem with your scene with Ed Astor." And I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Did Ed's part not record?" And she's like, "No, Ed's part's fine, but your part had a buzz underneath. Something with the mic had a buzz." Oh. So I have to redo my part. Except now I'm redoing it. Part of what helped me was I was playing off of Ed, who's amazing. But now I just have to do my part. So I'm nervous again that I'm not going to be able to get there.
You got this. This is you.
Very nervous.
You got this.
Well, I appreciate that.
Don't go method. Don't go method.
Yeah, see, I know. It
wasn't good for Heath Ledger.
I know.
Don't do it.
Oh, she was so talented.
I loved him.
Yeah, he was so talented. Well, I know I let you go, and I hate to do it because I didn't get to ask you. You have to come back. I got more questions. Yeah, because
anytime.
You were on 6 Feet Under and Nip Tuck, and just there's so many shows that I wanted to ask you about. So you have to come back.
I'll come back.
Oh, I gotta ask you. I'm going to ask one. Yeah. Who did you play on Nip Tuck? Were you related to one of the main characters on the show?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
I was the daughter grown up in the future.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought, but it's been a while since I've seen that show. So.
Oh my God. And I think I'm all screwed up, and I have like an earpiece in my ear, because it's the future. And that was fun. I love that.
That was about as far from Jan Brady as you could get.
Right. Thank you. You should be my manager.
Oh, I could do it. Come on. You'd be like, this bastard keeps putting me on all these podcasts.
I love it.
All right, I got one more question, then I'll let you go. I promise.
Okay.
So we've all been stuck inside. You guys out your way more than what we've had here. What are you binge watching? What shows have you binge watched while you've been quarantined?
Okay. There's a couple of them, and I got really into Bosch and just binged every season. Bosch. I don't know if you watch Bosch. I love me some Bosch.
Yeah, love it.
That is such a good show. And then Marcella with Anna Friel. It's a British show, and it's a detective show. Oh, it's so good.
It's on my list. So I want to watch that. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I love it. It sounded
and
good.
Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I waited so long to watch that.
Me too. I waited so long, but I'm glad that I did, because we need something right now like that, something funny like that.
Such an amazing show.
So good.
I loved every single person on that show was just amazing. Wow.
So good. It's so amazing.
That's probably the best thing that we've watched during the quarantine. And it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. I just loved it.
It got so many Emmys, and rightly
they got
so.
all the Emmys.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
All the Emmys. It's brilliant.
All the Emmys.
Catherine O'Hara is genius. All of them on that show.
They got so many Emmys, it got awkward. It got awkward.
They took them all.
Oh my gosh. Catherine O'Hara is amazing. She her voice, and I'd read where she made that up. You know, they didn't script that. That was just her making the way to pronounce words up and stuff. Hilarious.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I sometimes find myself speaking like her just to get happy. It's like you're unhappy or kind of pissed off during the pandemic. You just talk like Catherine O'Hara, you feel better. I don't know.
Well, and my daughter, she talks like the daughter on the show. You know, she's always saying, "Ooh, David," you know, that stuff.
I love it. I love that too.
Yeah. The whole thing's so, and I'm amazed that Dan Levy was able. I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere. You know, I mean,
he did.
He just came out, and he's so talented.
He just brought it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, the writing and the acting. He just his character on that show was just hilarious. I mean, just absolutely had us rolling. I don't know. All right, enough. Schitt's Creek. Everybody should watch Schitt's Creek.
Everybody should watch Schitt's Creek. Seriously, we need to be happy.
Yeah, and Bosch is wonderful too. I love Bosch too. Those were good,
so
good picks. Yeah, those are good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did good.
Good, thank you.
You passed. You didn't come on. I don't want to say any bad shows because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But you didn't come on and list a couple.
No, of course not. Yeah,
terrible. Although I will say, 10 items or less, quick draw. Those are good ones to hidden gems.
Really good. Yeah, really fun.
Yeah, they're fun shows.
Totally. And Marcella, watch Marcella. That's
I'm gonna watch that. It's on. I've got it on my because I love the British TV shows. I tell you what, you're gonna have to come to West Virginia so we can do this in person, because then
we'll do this in person so we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, you won't have this problem.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, where can people find you? This has been great. Where do you have a social media that they can look you up?
I do at Jen Elise Cox. Jen ELISECOX. That's on Twitter and on Instagram. And then everybody watch Web Therapy on IMDb.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
streaming
please.
right
Love
now.
that show.
Please
so good.
Watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Your character is totally worth the whole show. Although Lisa Kudrow is too. She's amazing.
She's
so
amazing.
Good. Yeah,
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. And thanks for thanks for rescheduling for me. I was a little under the weather. So
of course. Anytime.
Oh,
anytime. And I'll come back. You just let me know.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Great talking with you.
Sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
That guy, come turn us off. Wow. That was the wonderful, amazing, talented Jennifer Elise Cox. Oh my gosh. That's so big for me. I'm such a big fan. I think she is one of the funniest women on the planet. I absolutely love her. And she's been in some serious roles and been really good too. And I named a few, but there's a bunch I wanted to ask questions about, but I was taking up her whole evening, so I had to let her go. Reluctantly had to let her go. She was so nice and just wonderful to have on. And she's absolutely right. I hope that you will check out The Last Saturday Night. She's amazing on it. The cast is amazing. The writing from Jennifer Nash is amazing. I am adequate, but the rest of the cast definitely makes up for it. So don't worry. It's so worth your time. It's heartwarming, true stories. It's based on true stories. I think that makes it really interesting. So please, check that out and let us know what you think. You can find us on our website, meistercon.com. You can find us on Facebook under MeisterCon. You can watch us on YouTube, MeisterCon at YouTube at MeisterCon Pod. You can listen to us on any podcasting app. You can also find or watch on our website, as I mentioned, meistercon.com. We do have a Patreon page if you want to help us out. I mentioned earlier that we were working on our studio and getting a place of our own, so you can help us out. Patreon.com/MeisterCon. Really appreciate that you keep choosing to tune in and to listen. I hope we're bringing you exciting guests, because I know we get excited about them. So we really appreciate you can go anywhere, but you choose to go here. So thank you. Until next time, we'll see you again real soon. Bye.